Hello guys, this is Udit. So this is my video on specificity. Specificity means like suppose on a particular target or a particular element, DOM element, if there are two selectors or there are two CSS pointing to the same target, which one will be valid? So that is the agenda for this video. So suppose this is the page I have written. I will be showing firstly how we measure the specificity of a particular element. So this is P is for paragraph title, and if there is a only tag, then specificity will be 1 at the 0001, which will be only 1. So the selector specificity is 0001, and when there is a class name, then it will be 10, which means that 010. So, and the same will be for attribute selector. So if there is attribute selector, it will be 10 only, which means that 10. For this thing also, it will be 1 pseudo classes will count. Pseudo classes will count actually 1 not 10. So this is an ID. It will count 100 100. So this is how it is. So let's see here how it is. So it will be 2 1. So P is basically, it will be like 1, and then there is 2 green and important, which is two classes, and it will count to 2 and 1. Here it should count 3, because there are 3 classes, so it will be 33 and 0. So I hope you understood how we have to calculate a specificity of a particular this thing. So this whole file has this thing, how we have to calculate specificity of a, you can add a extension also to count it. You can count it by seeing also ID is more specific than class name. So if there is a main title, there is a class also, and if there is a ID also, and we give a different style to it, so ID one will work. So that's how it is. So, and if there is 2 class name, and if you are using only one and there is one other for 2 class name, then the 2 class name will be valid. So guys, this is how it is. I hope you will find some meaning in my this video, how find which one to work. So the ideal, and there is one thing which is called important, which has the highest specificity. So let me go through this. Highest specificity means that it is above every this thing, all the most specific. So this is all about the same thing, how to compute the specificity. So there are think of it as a 4-part number, A B C D. A is for the inline style, so A equal to 1. B is for ID selectors. A is for the inline style, B is for ID selector, C is for the class selector, attribute selector, pseudo classes, and D is for basically pseudo elements. So pseudo elements, you see, have a lower specificity than pseudo classes. Please remember this. This is an interview question. And D is for the number type of selector, like P and D, which is like tag selector. So this is how it is. And if 2 selectors are same as the one that appears later in the style sheet, when like suppose there are 2 classes and differently using it, so the last one will have the will has the higher specificity. So rules about important has the highest specificity. Important moves a declaration above the normal cascade. A declaration marked important in author style sheet overrides the normal declaration from author. Between multiple important declarations will be used to break ties if specificity is equal or later one wins. So if there is 2 important, then which one has the higher specificity, which means these things will win, or which one is the later, that one will win. So that's how it is. So inline style with important overrides the external important. So if there is an inline style with, so it will of course will win with the external one. So there is an inline style, which means that there is an attribute and we have written style and then given the style, an added important, and there is in the sheet there is also an important for other style, so it will have the higher preference. There is no there is also concept of use style sheet and user important rules which override author important, but you rarely need to worry about this thing to break the this is like that only. Important practical note is that inline styles have higher specificity. Attribute selectors like text, they have like class name, they are in the C. Yeah, and the pseudo selectors classes, they have C, which is no third one. The pseudo elements, they have 4 D. Combining selectors, just add them up. I mean, C will be added to C, D will be added to D, but the main difference will be like A B C D. Comma separated selectors independently, each select act independently. I mean, haven't seen any comma selector separated selectors, but they act differently. Order matters. The last declared one wins if they have only when specificity is equal, then only the last declared one wins. But that is also a, we can mention that it is a redundant code, like there are two specific thing and we have to write another thing at the last of it. So browser browser defaults are the weakest unless overridden by user styles or important. Shadow DOM CSS outside the shadow root generally does not affect the element inside the shadow root. Specifically, specificity inside shadow root follows the same rule but scope to that particular shadow. So if it is in the same shadow DOM, then it will have it will follow for the elements which are in the same shadow DOM. Keep CSS maintainable. Prefer clear low specificity selectors like classes. This is a very important thing rather than ID. So we have to use classes rather than ID. So again the same thing which we were discussing earlier, and now so this is all about specificity, guys. Please stay connected. The next topic is the box model.